Included in the downloads is going to be this modeling hotkey cheat sheet, and this is going to be work in progress. This is what I currently have, so some of this might be added as we go. So be sure to download the starter kit and open this up and have that open up while you're working. I'm going to go through each one of them, kind of explain how I use them. It's going to be pretty overwhelming at first. Don't feel like you have to, have this stuff memorized right now. The way the course is designed is for you to follow along. So watch the chapter, and then the best practice is going to be to watch a chapter. Don't try to follow along with the chapter or video. Focus on comprehension, and then the screenshots, open up the screenshots and then follow along with them. And then we'll have all these hotkeys screenshotted as we move forward. So to get a broad look at this stuff, we have the shading radial menu. So if I do Z, I can go to solid to wireframe very, very quickly. We can also go from rendered to material preview, but mostly in the modeling section, we're just going to go from modeling or solid to wireframe. So just hold Z and go left and right, and then let go. Very quick. We have the view radial menu, which is going to be the tilde key. So the tilde key is going to be next to the number 1 right up here. The tilde key is going to be the view menu. So getting to the top viewport, the right, the left, all that. So if I do view camera, for example, if I just hold the tilde key, move my mouse over here and let go, it'll go to the camera. And then I can do the same thing for the right view, the left view, top view, view select. This is going to be a really, really common one. Whenever I'm modeling, maybe I'll have like a face selected. I'll do tilde key view selected, and it'll essentially frame that selection. So I do this quite a bit. It also makes the viewport rotation, where the way you orbit is going to be now around that polygon. So while you're working on like a specific part, just do tilde key and view selected. So you'll see me doing that a lot. Shift A is going to be our create menu. So anything that's going to be in our add menu up here is going to pop up in Shift A. Object context menu is going to be right mouse button. Anything that we see up here at the top, the 3D view, is going to work both in edit mode and object mode. So if we do like a move operation, the next one we have repeat last action. If we do Shift R, it'll just repeat whatever you just did. So from here, if I do something like an extrusion and I do Shift R, it'll just repeat that exact last command. We have A to select all, double A to deselect all. We have Control I, which will invert selection. Very, very common. We have X for delete, to get our delete menu, which we'll be getting into a lot. We have Tab to toggle between object and edit mode. And then whenever we're rotating, we have Control for essentially snapping. And then we have H while we're rotating to do precision mode. We have Shift H for isolate selection. So this is really, really common whenever I'm working on just one part of an object or a part of a scene. I'll do Shift H to just hide that and work on that. And then I'll do Alt H to get everything back. So Shift H while one thing's selected, then Alt H to unhide everything. And then while we're in solid mode, a really common one, especially while I'm doing selections, it only selects one side of this. So if you just do Alt Z, that'll toggle your wireframe. So it'll still be shaded mode, but it'll be in this wireframe mode. So Alt Z to toggle that. So then we can actually select through an object, which is really common. Under edit mode, we have things like Alt M, which is going to be our merge menu. Right mouse button is going to be our context menu. So the most common operations that we can do while this selection is active are our delete menu, which is X, which we'll get into quite a bit. Alt E is going to be our extrusion menu. So if you want to do extrude along normals or just a standard extrusion, very, very common. We have 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be vertex selection mode, edge selection mode, and face selection mode. E for extrusion. We have Control R for edge loop. We have Alt left mouse button. So if we just do that, we'll select an edge loop. And you can do that with edges. And if we go into our vertically mode, so if you alt click on this, and if you do it on the left side, it'll select edge loop that way. If you do alt click going upwards, it'll do it upwards. And then same with faces. So if I select a face and then alt click on the opposite side of it, it'll select the edge loop going that way. Or if we simply just do right on the specific direction, it'll go like that. So if I just do in the center, it's going to kind of pick whatever one, but you have to kind of like do it right up by the edge. And it'll select it around like that. So select linked vertices. If we have two different objects in here, say we have another cube, if I just do L while we're hovering over this, it'll select everything that's connected right here. If I do AA to deselect all, and if I do L while I'm selecting over this, it'll just select that cube. And if I do L while I'm selecting over this, it'll select everything connected. So you can think of that as select connected. And if we do Shift L, it'll deselect connected, just like that. And then if we just add in a subdivision surface to get our smooth, and we go back into our edit mode, and we do something like this where we select our edges like that. If we do Shift E, it'll do an edge crease like that, so hardening that edge. So again, to wrap this up, this is just a hotkey cheat sheet. That's all it is. You're not expected to, comprehend all this stuff right off the bat. But have this up while you're working, and then while you're following along, be sure to utilize the screenshots, and we'll have all of them screenshotted as we go.